difficult stigma for black men to deal with because like you said, we're like supposed to be the strong man. We're the head of the household. We're supposed to make sure food's on the table. We're supposed to go out and work every day. We're not supposed to show emotion. So I definitely feel like that stigma's out there. But to break that stigma, you have to be man enough to know when you have to let that conversation open. Because like you have children who see you like masking everything, so they feel like it's fine to mask everything. And then when they express it in other ways like violence or acting out of school, you trying to figure out what's going on. But at the end of the day, you haven't taken the time to sit with your son and see why he's going off on your teacher like that. Why all she says hello and he's cussing her out. So I think as black men, like we have to take the approach, we have to take the stand to like open that conversation up. As difficult and as awkward as that may be, we have to open that conversation up.
Yeah, I want to agree with that. See, I'm the type of person, I don't care with that about that stigma. I admit, I'm someone who at times wears my emotions on my sleeve. I admit the day I moved on the campus, I admit I cried that day. I admit that. But at times I have been, tried to, keep my emotions concealed. Just because I felt like, other people's emotions mattered more than mine. Especially when my father and brother died, I was one of the only people that didn't cry at either funeral. And it's not because I wasn't upset about it. I was broken about it. But I just felt like when seeing everyone else cry around me, I just felt like at that time it wasn't. I needed to be there for everyone else, even though. And my mother even told me, it's still your father died. And you're only 17. It's okay to be upset about it. And so I understand, the stigma of men have to be masculine, men have to be have to be stronger. But that's just a bunch of BS. I don't believe that at all.
And to add to that point, like I'm gonna do that too. Sometimes, like over time, I've gotten better with expressing myself. But there was at one point where I just kept all my emotions to myself because it was it's not that I was too prideful or my ego, it's just I didn't trust people because I had dealt with people in the past who you open up to and they take it and they make a joke out of it and run with it. So like I become blocked off. But you have to realize like as you get older, you have to let some of that old hurt go. Because although you feel like you're keeping people who don't really have good intentions out, you really hurt yourself because you're keeping them bothered in. So I think it's also about who you keep around you. Like the friends I have around me now, I can express myself to them like anyway. Like if I'm going through something, I can talk to them. Like I don't feel like they're gonna judge me or be awkward, more so they're gonna have their hand out to help me. And I think that's what's really needed with the young community now, because the young community feel like you don't have anybody you can trust. People say it all the time. So if you have people who are just as transparent as you are, and Jen, you'll feel more open to like let your issues out and let your frustrations out every day. Because it's not easy, especially this generation. It's not easy to trust people. People are always looking for something to take from you and just run a whole different direction. So it's hard. But when you do find those people that are just like you, have to hold on to them, and you definitely have to get to know each other and keep each other up. That way you can touch other people the same way.
Being in a fraternity, do you feel like mental health is like talked about amongst that area?
I think amongst my fraternity, definitely. I think we've talked about it way more. We've talked about it way more in the past few years than we have ever before because like it's real. And usually people don't want to talk about it until it has a direct effect on you. And that's why I feel like most organizations, like most fraternities don't really touch on it. But I think nowadays, especially my fraternity in general, like we definitely touch on it. My chapter in particular, like we can argue all day long. Like we're brothers, we're gonna argue, we're gonna fuss, we're gonna fight sometimes. But like if we feel like something's going on with you deeper than what the argument is going on, we'll pull you to the side, we'll talk to you because like at the end of the day, you're my brother. And I'm not gonna let you sit here and hurt yourself or feel like you have nobody on your side. So yeah, my fraternity is definitely open to those conversations.
So you guys kind of touched on this last question, which was like, as a whole, how has the perception of mental health in the Black community changed in the past 5 years, and what do you predict will happen in the next 5 to 10 years?
I feel like we've made a lot more strides in the last decade to change the perception of mental health in the Black community, with more people being diagnosed with different mental disabilities. For example, schools having programs to help students with mental disabilities to get the same education that students without mental disabilities. But with just about everything with being Black, I still think we have a lot more progression to make, and in the next decade, we'll be making more progression.
I think you said it has changed. I think it's changed in the past 5 years because of like the different experiences that Black people have dealt with. So like for one instance in particular, and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but like a white man who's dealing with a mental issue can walk into a school and shoot up everybody. or shoot who he intends to shoot up. And they deem it as a victim case and like, oh, he needs help, he needs this and that. But let a black man go do that. The black man is crazy. He comes from a family of drugs and domestic violence, and it doesn't look at the same. So I think that's one thing that has changed black people in the thoughts on it. Like, okay, if the government looks at us one way when we both have the same issue, then if they're not going to protect us, we need to protect ourselves. So I think that has changed amongst the black community.
Keep looking at me. I talked about it a little earlier, and I said that. What did I say? I said that now we are more open to saying and being open to saying I am depressed, but there is no constant resolution. Okay, you're depressed, now what? Like, what do you do? And I think that if that's not addressed properly now, in 5 or 10 years, people are going to begin to start closing back up and saying, well, if I tell you I'm depressed, what is that going to do for me? It doesn't help me. And we're just going to revert back to our old ways, how we were 5 years ago. So I think, well, I'll save my next response for the next question.
I'll take that one. So answer the last.
Oh, you're about, okay, I don't know if she, do you have anything to say that?
To be honest, I think the American culture is very different from Britain. You know, we don't really have our feelings. It's very British, but in America, you guys always talk about your feelings, which is disconcerting at first, but it's really good. So I think Britain has a greater strides to make, but there seems to be a real community of black people in America. Sorry, black Americans. That there seems to be a lot more advocates within the black community to enrich your lives in positive ways, including in mental health. So from what I've seen so far, I think it can only improve, but it's kind of on all of you to help make that happen and continue that change to
Okay, so I do have a question. I was thinking some when I was sitting here. Alright, so my question is, well, my first question is, do you think that there is a correlation between growing up in a religious home and having mental illness, or dealing with mental illness?
I think so. You said, is there a correlation like being religious?
So I know personally, if I came to my mother and said, "Mom, I'm depressed," she said, "Oh, that's the devil. You need to go speak to, like, you need to go speak to a pastor." And I'm like, "No, I need to go speak to a therapist." Like, I'm saying, like, that's a personal experience. Like, do you think that there's an issue with that? Like, I just like personal opinions on that type of issue.
Yeah, I definitely think there's an issue with that. I definitely think some Christians are caught up in their ignorance. I really do. Because not everything, like, yes, prayer changes things, but sometimes, like, faith without works is dead. So you can't throw a prayer up and not do no work behind it. So God didn't call for medicine and everything to be created just for you to feel like you can't take it. Like, there's some situations where he will pull you out of it without no medicine. Like, let's not get it twisted. He can work a miracle. But there's some times where, like, he will put things in your place, like certain medications, certain treatments, certain, like, things you need to go and fulfill where you can get out of that. But I think Christians do think, like, okay, it's the devil, let's rebuke you, you'll be fine. So,
exactly.
It kind of depends, because my mum is very religious, but she is of the mindset, God helps those who help themselves. So if prayer doesn't work, then you need to find someone who can help you. But maybe, I don't know.
Well, I myself, from 4th grade to my senior high school, went to Catholic school. Now, I'm not a Catholic at all, and I do have some religious beliefs, but I do feel like at the end of the day, if you need help, don't be afraid to get help. Don't let your religion cost you possibly your life. I don't think it's worth it. even if those around you don't agree with you, you feel like you need help, whether it's a mental disability or physical injury, get help.
So, another question is, if any of you all have suffered from any mental illnesses or like depression, anxiety, what were some ways that you coped with those issues? Even if it was simply talking to your mother or anything else of that sort.
Exercise helps. I would go running. I took up running to deal with anxiety, and sometimes it would take an 8-mile run to run it off. But
8 miles?
8 miles, yeah. That was amazing. Yeah. And once you run out all your anger, frustration, and anxiety, it's like, okay, I feel a little bit better now. And yeah. Oh yeah. But running really helps me a lot. Exercise really helps, and I also started meditating. There's an app called Calm, and I remember my friend told me about it. I was like, but it was really good. It's just 10 minutes, and you just meditate, and I would do it every day, and I didn't notice it immediately, but after a few weeks, a couple of months, I realized that I could feel a little bit better, but then there were still situations which would raise my anxiety, and then it was just like, I need to have that 30 minutes of yeah.
Well, for me, it was, other than talking to people, obviously, listening to music helps me. Watching TV or movies, playing games, especially things that are funny. When someone, in my family passed away, not my father, my brother, my grandmother, one time, and I didn't want to go to school the next day, and my mother thought it'd be good for me. My first class of the day, my friends made me laugh, and that alone just helps because you don't understand how we all work different ways. What might make someone feel better won't might make someone else feel better. And for me, it's music, TV, games, or someone just making me smile and laugh.
Why y'all always looking at me? I don't recommend this to anyone because what works for me might not necessarily work for anyone else. And actually, I can't even say that it worked for me, but it almost did. So actually, my coping mechanisms for depression were like, I just became addicted to stuff. Like, I became an alcoholic. I took the rough way out. And so it wasn't productive, but it was in my rough times. Because we talked, this is why I didn't want to say anything about, like, religion being my association with my mental health, because it really was the only way that I could get out was God, right? And so he met me in my lowest place, because it wasn't the medication that was going to do it for me. Even though I probably wouldn't have taken the medication even if my parents didn't advise me not to, right? But it was literally in my place where God met me, my lowest place. When I was strung out on the floor at parties, I think y'all remember that. I was crazy. Like, I was crazy. And so, like, God had to say, look at yourself. Look what you're doing to my masterpiece. You're messing it up. You need to get yourself together. And so, like I said, I don't recommend it to anybody. Please don't do that. Don't use my life as
what's a realistic answer? That's how some people.
Yeah, but sometimes you've got to get a little messier than you are, so that you can truly just get rid of everything. Because like I said, I was depressed before. I don't remember a time where I wasn't depressed before I conquered it. And I guess without me having to go through those extensive limits, I probably wouldn't have ever known, or I would have never stopped trying to commit suicide or whatever it was. I didn't have the best coping mechanisms, but
I like to say it's like a mix of things. Drinking was one of them. Like you just drink. Like for me personally, like drinking like push you in a different zone in the element when you're not dealing with nothing else. Like all the worries in the world just disappear, and you're just a whole new person. It's just a whole new world. So like drinking was a thing for me, but I think you get to a point where you realize, okay, I'm doing too much of this. Like, is this really helping me, or am I just taking a moment of time to get out of like what I'm dealing with? But I have to come right back to it once I sober up the next morning. So like I think you have to go through different things. You have to go through different situations and experiences to realize exactly what works for you. And I think you have to experience certain things that push you to that limit to like change yourself. Because sometimes, I know what you mean when you were saying like the whole religion thing, like you didn't agree with the what she had asked, but I think also like not just that, like God just, you can't, when you, I'm sorry, I'm trying to let off because you were saying like that people were saying like prayer can't change things. No, I agree prayer can't change things, but I think also He does things like put you in certain situations as well to change things. So that goes along with your prayer.
Yeah.
So it's not like just like a prayer particular.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that works for some.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. If you need to go see a therapist, go see a therapist. Like, do what you got to do. That just wasn't working for me because I was going to see therapists and I was getting mad at them because I was like, why would you even say that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that just didn't work for me. I don't know what. Ooh, Jesus. It's a lot to work with me, but I agree. So
yeah, and I think even with that, like your experience, like the therapist didn't work for you, so you had to go to the next best thing. I think like things like that need to happen in people's lives. Like you had, like she said, you have to hit your little point. You had to be strung out. You gotta be. You don't have to be, but sometimes people hit that point, like, and it wakes you up. It's necessary, and like. And it doesn't, like sometimes it hit people different. Like some people can take a few months, some people take a few years. Like everybody is different, and as people watching it from the outside in, all you have to do is be that support for someone. But at the end of the day, that individual has to be ready to like break the cycle that they're doing. So you have to be there for them to support them. But it takes an individual to get to that point and be like, okay, I don't want to do this no more. Like this just ain't for me. This ain't my cup of drink no more. Like this is not it.
Yeah. And I agree. And I think for another thing for me that helped me cope was not understanding that people were watching me, right? And so sometimes it's annoying because, like all my life, people were just always, I'm PK, so people are always looking at the first family, right? And so I was just like, okay, but when I came to college and I was like active in BSU and like just doing a lot of different things on campus, and so people were watching me. And so they were saying, why is she doing that? That is so distasteful. Or, you know, they didn't always have nice things to say. But people were always also paying attention to things I thought people didn't even acknowledge. There were people, I remember like 2 times, 2 different individuals had came to me and said, your testimony is what made me not want to kill myself. And that was enough for me. I was just like, what? And so I had to quickly get myself together because I am also an example. Like I say that all the time. Sometimes the things that you go through and your experiences aren't necessarily for you, but so that somebody else can see you and pull through as well. And so I had to get myself together because if people are gonna be watching me, well, if I fail, you will fail, and I can't have nobody failing on my name. Okay, like we've got a lot to get done.
Well, that will conclude our panel.